So, hi guys, here with Toby again, doing another military series. It's going to be a bit longer than usual, much longer than usual, because this series is, if you have watched our last mini-series on the rise and fall of Germany, 33 to 45, this is the expansion pack, if you like, the expanded version of it, of the individual campaigns and events that led to Berlin in 1945 and led to Germany's downfall. Not specifically steps, but the exact kind of battles and engagements and campaigns. So this episode will be talking about the invasion of Sicily in July 1943 by the Allies, which was a fantastically very well thought out, planned. Really, if we didn't have any of our secret agents, SOE men working on the invasion, it wouldn't have really taken place. So, do you want to give light on that a bit, Toby?
Yes, so to set the scene, the army in Africa, the Africa Corps, had recently just been thrown back out of Tunisia. Towards the end, it put up a very grim struggle in the mountains and passes of Africa. Most famous is the Kasserine Pass, which I might do a separate video on, I don't know. But basically the Germans had to very, very quickly scramble back the Mediterranean and prepare to defend mainland Italy. So you have this very kind of dire situation where if you think about it, the Germans really didn't want to lose one of their primary allies at this stage, since, that issues were beginning to arise around the Eastern Front. Certain allies were starting to slightly crumble. Well, not just slightly, actually quite majorly, in the case of, the Romanians and stuff, who fought bravely, but just overall were too outdated and just got crunched, absolutely crunched, by the Red Army, particularly at Stalingrad, actually. So yeah, you have this retreat situation for the German army, and their next line of defence is Sicily. So I'll hand you back over to Tim on how this all started, more or less.
Right, thanks, Toby. Well said. So, Sicily was basically armed with thousands of German Luftwaffe ground troops and the Luftwaffe themselves. So that's where they basically the German troops based in Italy had the Luftwaffe, their air force, on the island of Sicily. So what I meant earlier with the SOE is the SOE rendezvoused with the main British army to get these cover-up plans. So they got literally just a random dead body, to like a guinea pig, to wash up on sea with a fake name, fake rank. I believe it was a major. Can't remember the name. I have to write it down in the video. But he was a major, and on him they basically let him washed out to sea on the coast of Spain, where the German troops who were stationed off the coast of Spain would see him, and then they would pick him up, and they deliberately planted on him fake invasion documents for the Allied planning and going ahead of invading Greece, which of course the Germans took this as a real event. So they send basically all their men and resources to Greece. So of course the real target was the invasion of Sicily. Sicily, of course, after the actual SOE agents kind of cover-up worked very successfully, the British, mainly British and of course American troops, could land on Sicily with very little to no contact with bullets, gunfire at all, because a lot of the Germans had moved away to Greece. And the reason why the Allies actually did this, because, as I said earlier, the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, was stationed there. The main Allied forces had to knock out the German Luftwaffe, because the Air Force from both main kind of countries was the dominant power. So they knocked that out, and then they could build their own aerodromes on, on Sicily as well, without getting backlogged by Germans. So I'll just pass you over to Toby. So yeah, Toby.
Okay, so I did want to say, so very, very well summed up there. So
Thanks.
ironically, the air power of the Allies was actually one of their greatest issues during the Sicily campaign. So they tried to fly into Sicily, American airborne troopers of the, I think it was 101st and possibly even the 82nd as well. However, things went a bit wrong. In fact, it's eerily similar in a way to like what similar, not quite the same, but it's a bit interesting in the Mediterranean how things, comparisons between Crete, the Germans,
yes, yeah.
and this for the Americans. So they tried to land their things. However, this is one of the reasons they added the invasion stripes for D-Day. Is for some reason an American army gunner on a ship opened fire with his 50 caliber machine gun, and soon the sky was just ablaze with anti-aircraft fire of all kinds as the planes came over, and they shot down quite a lot. And, I think some very high-ranking officers in the division were killed, and they didn't really have enough supplies because it all just went into the sea. So then they had the issue of, as Tim said, there was a lot of Luftwaffe troops there, including the infamous Hermann Göring division, which was unique in the Luftwaffe, as in it's actually one of the only Luftwaffe divisions that's equipped with actual panzers, not assault guns, not anything like that, actual panzers. So I've heard accounts of them, trying to take out stuff like even, it could be an exaggeration, I'm not entirely sure, but we do know that after retreating from Africa, the Germans brought their feared Tiger tanks with them. And I've heard of accounts of the 101st trying to fight off Tigers with just bazookas and things, which is
that would, definitely work.
At the best of time.
Yeah. Oh, that's fighting them with bazookas. I mean, a bazooka, yes, it works, but against Tiger tanks, I mean, it's a bit much. Very scary, actually. I wouldn't want to face them, especially in Sicily. So when the British and Americans landed, the Americans had their sights set on a place called, and I always mess up the names, sorry if there's any Italian people in here, or any, listening to the video. It will be a place called Palmi. Now, the Americans were supposed to kind of land in Italy and move straight to Palmi, but the British went basically to the same exact place, but went right round, cutting off other areas, but went right round to the same place. But the British actually got there first, because the British army, very biased to Britain, they were very, very keen on getting everything correct. Americans they stalled a lot of gunfire, where Britain just kind of crept around, got onto Palmi, and got there first. So there was a Scottish, I believe Highlanders, regimental march through the actual streets of Palmi,